Welcome back to Bright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this class, I'll be teaching you how to sew this beautiful ruffled top with V yoke neckline. You can see how beautiful this top is actually looking. You can use it for your skirt, you can even make a gown with it. In fact, if this is what you want to learn, please stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. For us to start up this tutorial, so I want to draft the upper part of this dress on the paper. Okay, so just to get the pattern, because with this pattern you can use it to make as many of these dresses as possible, okay, for ready to wear. So now what I need here is my shoulder line, my chest line, my under bust line, and my waist line. Okay, so my waist is actually 17 inches, okay, but I added 1 inch to it. Then after that, you create your armhole. After that, this is your center front, and it will also serve as your center back. So on this, you'll be taking your bust area, divide by 2 by 4. Here I have 10 inches, and on the waistline I'm taking my waist circumference, divide by 4. Then I added 1 inch to it. That is why I got this 10 inches. So I'll just go ahead and do what, and create the bodice. So we are going to create the neckline right now. So for the neckline, what I did was, my neckline is 4 inches. Okay, so whatever your shoulder is, from here to here is my shoulder, divide by 2, and I added half an inch to it. So here my neckline is 4 inches by 7 inches. Okay, 4 by 7, that is what I'm using for this neckline. So I'll just go ahead and connect. It's a V neckline. I'll connect it, and from this point I'm going to connect to the under bust. So that is why I had my under bust line. So what I have here is going to be on fold. Okay, so we are going to use a different Ankara fabric for here. Then we are going to use a stretchy fabric. Okay, so the stretchy fabric we'll be using for here can be a scuba, it can be a lycra, it can be anything you want. Okay, so because there's no zipper to this, so whatever stretchy fabric is okay for this part. So we are done, and I'm going to cut out this pattern, and we'll use it to cut out this dress. So what I have here, we'll use it to cut both front and back. So I'm going to create the back armhole. Okay, if you just really want it to sit very properly, just go ahead. From here to here, the front armhole is at 3/4, and from here to here is half an inch for the back. So what I'm going to do is, when I get to this part, I'm going to cut this part, the back part first, before I create the front neckline. All right people, so we are done, and this is what this pattern looks like. So I'll just go ahead and do this. I'm going to cut this way. Then I'm going to cut on the neckline. Okay, so this neckline, like I said, is going to be for front and is going to be for back. So I'll now go ahead and cut what I have here. Can you see? So this pattern I've cut here, I'm going to use it to cut 2 different Ankara fabric. This part will be on fold. I'm going to cut 4 pieces of this, and this part will also be on fold when I'm going to cut the inner piece of this dress with a stretchy fabric. So I will cut it now and will proceed to the next stage. So now you can see my fabric now. This is the bodice, and I'm going to explain to you what I did right there on the bodice. So I have already added my seam allowance. You know, this was our true waist. Okay, so this top, if you want to wear it, it has to get up to the upper hip. and my upper hip length here is 22 inches. So from the top of my shoulder to the end, I have here 18, so I have to add up 4 more inches to from here to here to make up to the upper hip, so you'll be able to tuck it in and wear your trouser. Okay, so now I have 1 inch seam allowance. So this fabric is actually a stretchy fabric. As you can see right here, you need a stretchy fabric because these parts, we are not adding any zipper to it, so it needs a fabric that stretches, so you'll be able to wear it and it fits into your your body. So I've added 0.5 inch, 0.5 inch, and this part is on fold. So I'll just take off this pattern right now because what I have here is for back. Okay, so remember we had one for back, so I'll just take off the part that is back. I'll just go in and take off the back pattern. So I've taken it off, so I'm going to trim off what I have on the armhole for the front now. So I'll just trim it off. Okay, so I'll be able to cut out the front. So the front armhole is actually deeper, so I've cut it off. So I'll place it back here and reduce the armhole. That is what I'm doing here. So I'll place it back and reduce the armhole. So of course, you know, I'll have to pin. So let me just pin and reduce. Have a little more inches to take off for the front. So I just go ahead and take it off by adding or taking off 0.5, as you can see. So the front neckline is usually deeper, so that's what exactly I did here. So now I will have this as my front, and I'm going to make a mark at the back of it to identify the front. So once I pick this one, I will know that is the front. So we have the bodice for front and we have the bodice for back. So this is what it looks like for the part of our yoke. Okay, so this is the yoke dress, or the upper part of it. I have 4 pieces of this yoke, 4 pieces of them, 1 2 3 4. You can see I marked the wrong part of it. So one is for front and one is for back. So I just go ahead and put them together now. I'll go over to my machine to sew the neckline. So I'll finish up the neckline this way, turn it to the right side, and then give it a good press. I'll do that for the both of them. So that is that for this. So another thing we want to talk about is, if you look at this part, you'll notice we had the sleeve. From the sleeve we have some ruffles, you know, making up the bodies and everything. So to achieve that part, this is what you are going to do. I'll be using this part. I'm talking about this part of this yoke. I'll measure what I have on this part of this yoke. Here I have 15 inches. So 15 inches, I'm going to multiply 15 inches by 4. Okay, because this will go this way. What I mean by 4 is going to run this way for the front, that is 2 times, and for the back it will run like this, that is 2 times. That's why I'm multiplying what I have here by 4. So if I do that, I'll be having 60 inches. So this 60 inches right now, I'm going to multiply it again by 3 to make up the ruffles. So I'll be having 180 inches. So this 100 and my Ankara, which I'm using now, I'm using 2 yards. So what you will do is, once you get the 2 yards, you can see I place the 2 yards on fold. I'll go ahead and measure from the top of it as it is on fold. from here to here I'll measure 15 inches. Okay, I'll measure and get 15. From there I will cut, measure another 15, I will cut. So for these 2 yards I'm going to have 3 of them, and I'll join the 3 of them together. That's exactly what I'm calculating. So I'll do that now and join them together, make the ruffles. And so I'm done cutting now, and the width of the Ankara is 15 inches, as you can see, and it's 2 yards. Okay, 2 yards, you can see it's on fold, so I have to cut, just bring 2 yards and cut it into 3 places. So I'll just go ahead and start joining them. I'm going to join them from end to end because they are all 15 inches. Ankara comes in 3 inches, 3 yards. So when you get 2 yards of Ankara, cut it into 3 places at 15 inches width. You have 3 pieces of this. This is the 3rd one. So I'm going to join them now, and I'm going to make gathers. Okay, I'll just make gathers. So I'm done sewing this right now, so I'm going to make a notch. So I have to stitch on the wrong side, so I'm making my notch. You can see my stitches here. I'll just make a notch to that point, but please be careful you don't cut it out. Then you can just make eases. So I'll just go and make a top stitch. Okay, so I'm going to top stitch on this side. I'll just choose one to be the lining, and I'll top stitch on it now. So I'm going to do the same now to this. So once we are done, we'll start gathering on this. Okay, so alright, so now I've top stitched and I've turned to the right side. So these are my top stitches. So the next thing I'm going to do is to bring the 2 shoulder lines together. So I'll just open it up, open up this, then I'm going to stitch from end to end this way. I'll do that. So now I'm done top stitching, and I've joined the shoulder seam lines. You can see them. I have to open them up and give it a good press. Okay, so that's how you have to, that part is supposed to be. So this is the back where I top stitched. So this is it. So now I'm going to, I've already gathered my some part of my 2 yards which I hemmed. Okay, so I'm going to sew the gathers now. Okay, so I'll just go to the machine and I'll turn this way. So I'm going to make gathers for the rest of it. So I'll start from the shoulder line. I'm going to sew round, and I've gathered it into the dress. So this is it. I have to sew all the way this way to the neckline. So the next thing we want to do now, we are going to determine which parts, because they are actually looking the same. So I'm going to determine which part I want to be my front dress. So I want this part to be my front dress. So I'll now come in with the bodies. So the part I marked, if you remember when we were cutting this, I marked it to be the front. Okay, so I'll just raise up this to sew the front. So the front dress, I'm going to place it this way because it will actually, so I'm going to, it's supposed to be like this way. Can you see? So if this is the wrong side, this is the right side, then this is supposed to be sewn to this. So I'll just flip it this way. I believe you saw what I did here. So just follow the video instruction, you are going to get it. So I'll go ahead now. Can you see? I'll secure with my pin and I'll follow these stitches now. I'll follow them to sew in this till I terminate. Wherever it stops, I'll stop. I will again start from here and sew. Wherever it stops also, I'm going to stop. So I'll do that for the other side too, the back part. Alright, so now I'm done sewing the bodice, so you can see the bodice is inside the dress, so I have to flip it this way and stitch from end to end. So I did that for the back as well. So this is the armhole of this dress. Normally I'll just go and sew the sides, okay, by turning everything. I'm turning everything to the inner side, and I'm going to sew off 1 inch. I will do that for the other side and we are done. Alright, so this is what the inside looks like. You can see the bodice and this is the yoke. So once I turn it now, we have the front dress. Okay, so when I turn it now, you can see we have the front dress. So this is where the dress stops at 22 inches. How to go about it. So you can now go ahead and weave the inside of the dress. Okay, these rough edges, you can go ahead and weave it all over. Okay, so thank you very much for coming to this tutorial. Once again, if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you for coming. See you in the next class. Bye.